ngwee and selling at 30 kwacha 88 ngwee. The euro is buying at 26 kwacha 75 ngwee and selling at 26 kwacha 81 ngwee. The South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 29 ngwee and selling at 1 kwacha 29 ngwee. We take a look at some of the stories that are making headlines in the world of business. Now, we started off on the local front as we get to see and we get to find out what is happening in our business snapshot for today. Now, all set for the inaugural investment in Zambia and its conference. Now, all is set for the inaugural investment or Invest Zambia International Conference as scheduled to take place from the 16th of July to 18th of July 2025 in Lusaka. Now, the Zambia Development Agency Director General Albert Halwampa has since praised President Hakainde Hichilema for his dedication in positioning Zambia as a prime investment destination on the global stage. Now, Mr. Halwampa has reiterated the agency's commitment to making IZIC a transformative event that highlights Zambia's vast investment potential while enabling strategic partnerships, deal signings, and knowledge exchange. And ZDA Head of Communications and Public Relations, Kwali Mfuni, has says close to 2,000 delegates have so far confirmed participation at the conference. The event is set to have the high or most high-ranking government officials, international investors, industry captains, diplomats, development partners, and heads of, multilateral institution among some of the participants. The conference will also feature over 63 exhibitors from pivotal sectors including energy, mining, agriculture, tourism, manufacturing, ICT, and infrastructure, showcasing investment-ready projects and innovations to drive Zambia's economic transformation. We'll see what this yields from the 16th to the 18th of July 2025. And in more stories that we have this particular afternoon as we continue, a bill that reaffirms support for Zambia's SMEs. Now, the British International Investment, the Chief Executive Officer, Leslie Mastrop, says the organization has since 1949 committed over $200 million in Zambia, supporting 25 businesses that employ over 10,000 people. Mr. Masdrop says the launch of the Growth Investment Partners GIP Zambia initiative is therefore a powerful demonstration of the commitment to unlock the potential of Zambia's SMEs sector. And Mr. Swed Fund has also committed $15 million to GIP Zambia. It also has seen the Chief Investment Officer, Mary Algert, says the platform will provide a long-term flexible capital that Zambian businesses need. Speaking at the launch in Osaka, Ms. Algert says the investment is part of the Swed Fund's broader ambition to triple their development contribution by 2030. Meanwhile, NAPSA Board Chairperson Shipango Muteto says the anchor investment of $17.5 million into the initiatives underscores NAPSA's commitment to unlocking the potential of Zambia's economic engine. And GIP Zambia Chairperson Joseph Chikolwa said the launch of the project means deepening support for Zambia's economic diversification. Mr. Chikolwa committed GIP Zambia support to help close the financial gap among SMEs by providing them with the much needed capital. We take a look at some international stories that are making headlines for today on our business snapshot, and we see how Trump to slap 10% tariffs on small nations including the Caribbean and, Africa itself. Now, Trump is yet to slap a 10% tariff on small nations including the Caribbean and Africa as President Donald Trump speaks to the media after arriving at a joint base in Andrews July 15, 2025. The US President Trump is ramping up his tariff agenda, announcing plans to impose new duties of over 10% of imports from smaller nations including Africa and the Caribbean. The move marks a sharp shift in the US trade policy aimed at what Trump describes as reciprocal and its treatment. Several African countries are already preparing for steep increases. Lesotho, a small South African nation, could face tariffs as high as 50% on goods exported to the US or the United States. While the tariffs are currently on hold because of a 3-month consultation period, concerns arising over a long-term economic fallout. These are countries, many of them like 200 countries, Trump said in response to questions about the nations which would be affected. Now, we'll probably set one tariff for all of them. Now, U.S. Secretary Howard Lutnick supported the move, saying the president plans to handle small nations in a way that he believes is most effective. The Caribbean countries, African countries, well, there are a lot of them, he said. The World Trade Organization is arguing that or urging the United States to reconsider. WTO Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has called for African countries to be exempt from the well-proposed tariffs, warning that such actions could severely damage developing economies that have undergone years of progress. As the consultation period unfolds, both affected countries and international trade bodies are calling for dialogue, and they hope to avoid a new wave of economic instability, especially for vulnerable economies dependent on the exports. Well, it looks like, these tariffs are still being imposed, and Africa is another continent that is yet to be targeted. Up to 50% actually of the tariffs which will be increased, which means so much will be affected when it comes to the economies in Africa, especially those that are trying or maybe are undergoing development themselves. These and so many stories that we have, but for now the business snapshot ends on that note. So much is coming up. Good afternoon.
The Business Snapshot on 88.5 Sun FM.
Sun FM, broadcasting from the Copperbelt capital and Ndola City.